Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to an adoption vlog, welcome back to the past. Not that far in the past though, if things go as planned. So today is the 28th of May 2020. 2 months, people. 2 months till we pass court. And then it'll be like a month after that you actually get to see this video, because I'm going to post one a day from the 29th, because I'll be posting a different video on the 28th. Anyway, you're going to see this near the end of August. So hopefully things like from this video to the next video, I'm hoping not to film too many videos because I don't want too much stuff going on. But if you've watched any of these videos, I tend to have a really rough day and then find the positive in it and move on. And that's kind of what this video is looking for, that like that silver lining in things. And so so court has been delayed by 2 months, over 2 months, 2.5 months actually, because I was supposed to have it mid-May, and it wasn't an easy thing to hear. It was really upsetting to know that she wasn't coming home this summer, and I'm not going to bloody cry in this video. I had no reason to cry. Anyway, I'm happy. I'm happy I have a court date. Don't do this, Michelle. Anyway, I wish I had allergies to blame it on. Oh yeah, my allergies are acting up. My eyes are watering. Anyway, it was very disappointing to have it delayed, but I'm okay. I'm really okay. I lost my train of thought now. So anyway, so it's very nice to have an actual date and whatnot. And the more I talked about it to people in my family and my friends and stuff like that, I was like, it's actually not a horrible thing. And so this video is to kind of explain some of the things that I've realized that are not so bad about having it delayed. So the biggest one being finances. If I was traveling before the end of June, which is what I was concerned about, I would have to borrow money because I wouldn't have the travel money ready, because adoption's expensive, travel's expensive, and I bought a lot of junk groceries when I came back. I also bought a VR headset. Anyway, I spent a lot of money on groceries though. Way too much on groceries. And then what was it, yesterday? Was yesterday the day I went to the lawyer? I think I went to the lawyer yesterday and had a notarization fee from that, and then I got the invoice today for all the legalization, authentication, and courier fees and all that. Added up to too much money. I was like, anyway, so where was I? Anyway, so the delay is actually good because it gives me more time to save up. I'll have all my travel expenses and stuff probably, at the end of June, I'll have everything saved for that. And then end of July, unfortunately my car insurance is due every August 16th, I think. So I'll have to pay my car insurance with my July pay. But the leftover from that, I'll have that as well. And then the end of August, I'll have that pay as well, because I won't be traveling before my August pay, which you aren't even probably seeing this yet. Maybe barely. So my August pay. And so, it kind of works out good because I have more time to save up. The other thing is it kind of helps with my parental leave. So I get 37 weeks parental leave. I get 36 weeks of that with my benefits. So with her coming home in July or August, I was planning on going back as soon as that was over, because it was going to be hard to come up with that money and come up with the money for my benefits and to just in general. So I would have been going back to work at the beginning, pretty early in May. I think it was like, well, maybe it wasn't that early. Maybe it was like the 10th. Either way, I was going back in May, first or second week of May. And so she would have been in daycare for about 7 or 8 weeks. And I was somewhat okay with that. I wasn't happy about it, but the problem was that I couldn't figure out a way to afford to take off May, June, and then have no summer pay, because I'm not going to have summer pay. My summer pay is based off of the amount of months I work in a year, and then on top of that have to pay my benefits. So I was just like, I can't make this work. And I was like, you know what? If she's coming in July or August, I'm okay with that because I get that extra time off with her anyway. So I would be getting about 10 months off with her if she came home in July, or 9 months off if she came home in August. And now with that delay, I'm like, hell no. Hell no. I cannot go back to work after 36 weeks. I just can't do it. And there's a couple of reasons. So one, because of my students. So if I start the school year, which by the time you're watching this, I will probably have a better idea. But right now I would be starting at the end of August, and I would have a week of like PD, setting up classroom, all that normal prep stuff. And then I have a week, because I teach kindergarten, we do a week of kindergarten orientation when the first week is actually starts for the rest of the school. So the first 2 weeks of school I am not actually teaching, and then the following week is when I would start in the classroom. So I have 2 weeks kind of wiggle room that if I traveled on either of the Fridays of those weeks, I wouldn't be teaching at all. So that puts me, I want to say September 7th or 8th. I'd have to look at a calendar. But sometime in September, which not likely going to happen, but there's still a chance because court usually takes about a month and a half to 2 months from court to travel. So there's a chance I could be traveling those times. But no matter what, if I'm only working 2 weeks, even if I was working 2 days, that's extra money. So that extra money gets put into my ability to take off more time from work. Because I can then save that money. I can save the money from July, I can save the money from August, plus the money that I'm going to earn in September, however many weeks or days or whatever that is. The thing with my students is that if I know I'm leaving, maybe we can transition their actual teacher. But then say I work those 2 weeks, I'm now at the end of May coming back, and I don't really feel comfortable putting my students through 5 weeks of me and putting Emerus in daycare for 5 weeks. And that's with just 2 weeks of me being back to work, which is, she's more likely to come home a week or two after that. And therefore it would now be like 3 or 4 weeks of her being in daycare. And the hard thing is with my students, they would adjust, but it kind of sucks for them to be like, oh yeah, here's your teacher for the last 3 weeks of school. Meanwhile, you just had this other teacher for the majority of the rest of the year. It sucks for the teacher because they've just invested their time and energy into these children to just have it pulled from them. But mostly it sucks for Emerus. For a child that is going to struggle with attachment, who is going to struggle with trauma, who needs time to bond, to be like, oh yeah, mommy's with you for 37 weeks, but oh, now here's 5 weeks that she's not with you and you're in childcare full time. Oh, but now you get mommy for 8 weeks. That's a lot of change for a child. And no matter what the financial cost is, my daughter comes first. Like I will work my butt off to figure out where the money is going to come from, because to do that to her for such a short time, I cannot imagine. When it was 2 months, okay, we'll deal with it. But now that it's probably only going to be a month and a half, if that, I just can't do that to the poor child. So it makes more sense for me to try to figure out a way to financially be able to take that extra time off in order to make it work. So then I would be off from, say, mid-September or end of September to the following September. So we would get about 11 months together, which is amazing. Amazing. So I would have to pay back my benefits for the months that I was not working. And also I have to plan ahead because I get the paid at the end of each month. So when I go back to work in the following September, I wouldn't get paid until the end of September. But thankfully, I'm pretty darn good at budgeting. And without the cost of the adoption stuff, my bills are like less than half of my income go to my actual bills and groceries and stuff like that. Mind you, with Emrys, I do plan on eating better, like making her food and making like real food, not just rice and beans. But for her, she is small, so she's not going to require that much. I'm hoping to get off formula as quickly as possible, because I genuinely don't think she needs it. I just need the doctor to be okay with that. So anyway, so I feel like with my grocery budget is going to go up, but the rest of my expenses are going to be low. The biggest, I think, expense is going to be gas to medical appointments. And I believe my benefits will reimburse me for that, or the government will reimburse me for that as part of medical things for her. It will take some time for me to get like child tax and stuff like that set up to have that income. But once I have child tax income coming in, I get child tax income and I get like her disability income, and that can help go to it. I didn't want that to go to anything other than her, but to me, I'm now thinking like that money is going to her if it means 4 extra months off with mommy, and it means not having that trauma of being pulled from here to go there to then go back kind of thing. So I just feel like it's so much more comfortable with spending that money towards surviving through next summer than I am to be like, no, let me put her in daycare for a few weeks. It just doesn't make sense. Where else was I going with this? I lost my train of thought. Thanks, train. Perfect timing, train. Perfect timing. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. So yeah, so like I'll figure out how it works. So my child tax will cover a significant portion of it, thankfully. Whatever I can save, I'm going to save my butt off for. Like I said, most of it's probably going to be medical expenses, or I shouldn't say medical expenses, because between my benefits and Alberta healthcare, all her medical stuff is covered. It's more so the gas driving to and from Calgary, because it's a drive. But hopefully we won't be doing that too much. Also, I have awesome parents, so don't tell my mom, and thankfully she probably doesn't watch these videos, but I think I might convince her to give me $100 a month extra allowance. So currently I get allowance from my parents for groceries, and I'm going to try to get my mom to give me an extra $100 a month, which in a year, that's an extra $1,200. So stuff like that. Money from Patreon, I'm still gonna split it and have 50% go to a savings account for her and 50% go to adding content. But to me, being home and using that money to help pay some bills and for gas and stuff like that is creating content, because while I'm off, I'm going to be filming. So that extra 50% is helpful. And if you're not subscribed on there or on YouTube membership, there's a join button right below you. $1 a month for exclusive access to content. Anyway, also stuff like YouTube ad revenue, you guys watching my videos, so subscribe and hit that bell as well, so that way you see all my videos. So I just feel like I could probably make it work. That September kind of area kind of worries me a little bit, but I already talked to my brother and he said he'll lend me whatever I need to cover me until the end of September, which, because my expenses are pretty low, is not a big deal. And because once I get, mind you, I'll have to post-pay my my benefits during that time, because they are only covered for that 36 weeks. But the best thing is if I was adopting last year, I would have to pay all my benefits. There was nothing saying my work was going to pay any of my benefits. So the fact that I get it covered for 36 weeks is amazing. So I'm very grateful for that. I lost... Does the chain want to come back and help me out here? So anyway, so I'm kind of super excited to have that extra time off with her. I don't think it's going to be the funnest thing ever in terms of finances and in terms of what I'm going to be eating, but I'm going to try to make sure that she is obviously eating as healthy as possible, and my kid is going to eat way better than I do. But I just can't imagine putting her in daycare for that short of a time to then pull her back out for summer. The other thing is often daycares require you to pay during the summer, even if you are not having them in there for summer, which as a teacher really sucks, and in future years will suck, but doesn't matter too much. But that first year will really suck because I have no income in summer. So for me to have to pay for childcare that I'm not using because I only used it for 5 weeks, I'm now paying an extra 8 weeks. It's just, I just don't want to deal with that. I'm also hoping my parents will move out here next summer. I can't guarantee it. They still don't have a timeline for moving out here, but that would be perfect because then Emrys will never need to go in daycare at all because my mom will be my childcare provider. I think with Emrys coming home will really push my parents because I've already told my mom I am not traveling back and forth. I'm going to travel once. The plan was next summer, but guess what? Now I'm just realizing I won't have money for that. Oh, my mom's going to kill me. My mom's going to kill me if I tell her I can't go back next summer. Anyway, then she can pay for my travel. That's what it's going to be. Seriously what it's going to be. If she wants me to come home next summer, then she's going to have to pay for it because I don't have the money for that because that's more money and I would rather take that money and take that time off. Anyway, that was oh crap. My mom's totally going to kill me. Well, I'll just tell her when she comes home and be like, hey, start saving. My parents totally will pay for it. My parents are not made of money. They just are very generous with their money and they will do pretty much anything for their children. So that is why, even though my income is higher than theirs, I get $100 a month allowance for groceries. So, and you should see all the stuff my mom I say my mom, my parents, my mom is kind of the one that just does everything and my dad just goes along with it, but my parents have bought so much stuff for her. Train gone. Anyway, I just realized that my court date doesn't suck as bad as I thought. It also gives me time to work on me because I would like to lose a little bit more weight, and also with being in like this land of isolation, social distancing, I feel like my muscles are non-existent and I want to get walking more and doing yoga and just getting in better shape because my child is a tank and I need to be able to support that weight, carrying her, lifting her and all that stuff, and I just don't want it to be a problem. So I'm not happy about the court date, and if I got a court date, they were like, yeah, we moved your court date to tomorrow, I would be totally okay with that. I would deal with it because that's what I do. But I just have realized in the last, 48 hours that my court date isn't as horrible as I thought it was. And now I'm actually kind of excited to try to have more time off with her because all the adoption books I've read with attachment, they say like minimum of a year off with a parent. No childcare, no daycares, no nothing. They need at least a year full-time off with their parent, which I still won't be able to give her that because unless she comes home before I start work, I have to go back to work at the end of August of that year, the following year. But we will get as close to a year as possible. It might be 11 months, but whatever. That is way better than 8 months. And also there's, they say to like have 2 years of very limited childcare, which isn't going to be possible as a single mom, but I'm doing the best I can. But hopefully either my parents will be here and I can use them. And therefore to me, that's my mom and my parents are going to be they're her family, right? So it's not the same as some stranger. But I just feel way more comfortable knowing that I'm not throwing her in daycare when she's been home for 8 months. And then ripping her out of that to then have her home again and then throwing her back in again. Like, that's too much for a little one to handle. I've already made the decision that she is not going to pre-K because pre-K has a lot of different adults. So next September, she technically qualifies for pre-K 3 because she'll be 3 years old by then. But in that classroom, there are a lot of adults. And it's just not a good situation for her to be going from my house in the morning to either a daycare or pre-K. And so let's say she goes to pre-K in the morning. So she goes to pre-K in the morning and there's 3, 4, 5 adults that she's working with, but then she sees mommy in the hallway every so often. And then at lunchtime, she's then taken from there and she's thrown in at daycare with another adult. And then mommy comes and picks her up and takes her home. That's just too many transitions for her. That's too many adults for her. We'll still be working on attachment a year from now, which a year and a half from now in my case, but a year from now in your case. So that's just not something I feel comfortable with doing. I will reevaluate for pre-K 4, but it's the same situation where she would be going, having lots of adults. She's only there part-time, coming back. And then for kinder, less adults, but again, having that transition from home to school to daycare to home, that's a lot within that first 3 years. And everything I've read is like that first 5 years especially, but like things go on, the later, the better. But I'm really hoping that my mom and parents will move here and homeschool her. Which is what my mom wants to do, what I want to do. But anyway, that's a whole nother video and I'm rambling and this is 20 minutes long. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going because I don't want to edit this and I'm really mad that this is so long because no one's going to watch 20 minutes videos. Thanks if you hung out for 20 minutes with me. Let me know in the comments below. Let's see. What's a code word, Taylor, that we could use? Daisy. Write a comment down below with the word daisy in it if you survived and watched through 21 minutes of this video. Let me know in the comments below. Something with the word daisy in it. Taylor has daisies on her collar. So you can say something about Taylor's daisy collar. I don't care. Write something. I'm just curious to see if anyone made it to this point. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Tomorrow's video will hopefully just be court. I don't want to be having too many of these in-between videos, but you never know. So, yeah. So, maybe see you in July. I hope to see you in July. Unless court gets moved up. I'm totally okay with that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye, guys.